Hello, everybody. I hope you are ready for this big time event happening here tonight. I, of course, am CR Daredevil, bringing you all of the live action in our WCW What If series in TEW 2020, and it is time for Bash at the Beach 1996. We have a huge show ahead of us. It is going to be absolutely crazy. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening for sure. And let me tell you when I say that it is going to be a memorable show for sure. There is a lot of stuff to cover. And, there's really only one thing to do, and that's get into the action. It is in front of 48,000 people in a random place in the New England area, apparently, because there's no arena that would justify it. Probably should actually start assigning arenas from now on because I keep getting a lot of these generic ones now. But in front of 48,000 people in the New England area. The commentators are going over tonight's show to open up Bash at the Beach, where they talk about the world title match, they talk about the U.S. title match, they talk about the big 8-man tag match, they talk about the TV title being on the line and everything else. And then they announce, in a little bit of a surprise, that the match that was made this past Monday night on Nitro, Booker T versus Lex Luger, will be opening up Bash at the Beach here tonight. And in 10 minutes and 10 seconds, Booker T gets a victory over Lex Luger in 10-10 when Luger got disqualified after going into an attacking rage. He would not stop beating down Booker T and got himself disqualified by the referee. Big time match, or big time moment there, as Lex Luger has absolutely just would not stop. He would not stop fighting with Booker T. Gets a 72 rating for the match, 72 rating for the match, 76 that is from Lex Luger, and 71 from Booker T. A great start to open up the show. After that match, we have the referee yelling at Lex Luger to stop, but he gets shoved down. Stevie Ray then gets in the ring. He manages to get Lex Luger chased out of the ring. He's checking on his brother while Lex Luger is on the outside, kind of up in the ramp area, just yelling out for Sting. He's yelling out, "Sting, where are you? Where are you, Sting?" So I don't know why the hell he's yelling out for Sting. But the commentators kind of talk about how Luger seemingly snapped. This gets a 73 rating. What a weird way to start off Bash at the Beach as Luger's kind of lost his mind. I'm going to apologize if you hear any sounds in the background. You probably won't, but I'm going to apologize anyway if you hear them. I have my window open right now because it is incredibly warm in my apartment, and it's actually pretty nice outside. And can't really afford to close that up for some reasons. Anyway, we move on from that to Bull Nakano coming out for her open challenge, which is answered by Megumi Kudo. Megumi Kudo, who recently has been managing Dean Malenko, who's been in his corner. She is answering the challenge here tonight. This only gets 37 because these two don't have a lot of charisma going on right now, but it is what it is. The match itself gets a 61 rating. My God. In the last video, I talked about how the women's divisions kind of suffer here in WCW, and then they go and get a 61 on pay-per-view. That's not bad at all. Maybe the women's division isn't quite dead after all. Nevertheless, Bull Nakano defeats Megumi Kudo in 6:48 by pinfall with a guillotine leg drop. 61 rating for the match, 60 from Bull Nakano, 53 from Megumi Kudo. Big time matchup for these two women. The only problem with the women's division right now, although this might help out a little bit, but the only problem with the women's division right now is that Bull Nakano and Medusa are the only two who are seen as recognizable size, which means if I have a match between any of the other women that are still around, it's all considered unimportant, and we get penalized for it. So, but we'll still have it kind of lingering around like this. Bull Nakano getting a victory in a little bit of a hard fought match, but unfortunately, Kudo could not get the job done against Bull Nakano here tonight. After that, we go right into a video for the 6-man tag match. Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Ron Simmons taking on Chris Benoit, Ric Flair, and Diamond Dallas Page. The match itself gets an 80 rating. Let's go. Exceptional matchup. Chris Benoit, Diamond Dallas Page, and Ric Flair defeat Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Ron Simmons in 13-13 when Diamond Dallas Page gets Ron Simmons to submit after interference from the Diamond Doll. He didn't actually get him to submit. Ron Simmons was knocked out by the Diamond Doll thanks to one of her, thanks to something that was in her purse that we don't exactly know what it was. Ron Simmons was knocked out when the referee wasn't paying attention, and Diamond Dallas Page just locked him in some basic kind of sleeper hold, and Simmons obviously couldn't answer the count, especially because Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero were being taken care of by Benoit and Flair, and Diamond Dallas Page gets the win for his team. 80 rating, 92 from Flair, 70 from Page, 82 from Benoit, 66 from Simmons, 83 from Malenko, 90 from Guerrero. Big time match here tonight at Bash at the Beach. After that, we are backstage where a 77 rated segment, good lord. Lord Steven Regal has some young female corner backstage. Absolutely unknown who this is in WCW, despite the fact that you can see the name. And she is demanding he is demanding she tell him what she knows about the attack and some note he found this past Saturday night. Last night on WCW Saturday Night, he had this mysterious note sitting in his area of the locker room, like in front of his locker. He kind of freaked out about it. When Roddy Piper showed up to pull him away from her, Regal turns to Piper as the female runs away down the hall. Piper yells at Regal for accosting that female, and Regal says he needs to know what she knows about the attack. Piper says that's not the way to do it, and Regal walks off frustrated, leaving Piper with a worried look. So Regal seems to have kind of lost his mind a little bit here. But to be fair, his tag team partner was left laid out this past Monday night, so it kind of makes sense that he's very frustrated. But he's apparently at the point where he's accosting women backstage, trying to find out what he knows. Trying to find out what she knows, that is. Beulah McGillicuddy, although she's not named in here yet. Beulah has been signed to WCW. She's going to be managing somebody, or potentially managing somebody. She's going to be on TV, in a very kind of limited role. But yeah, she's coming in to do something. But nevertheless, Regal is the main focus of this, as he is kind of snapped here and is going kind of crazy. After that, we get the video hyping up the feud between Cactus Jack and Randy Savage. We're going to have that Falls Count Anywhere match right now. And that match itself gets an 82 rating. In an exceptional matchup, Randy Savage defeats Cactus Jack in a Falls Count Anywhere match in 10:40 by pinfall. Essentially, these two men fought all over the goddamn arena. They were fighting in the back area. And the ending comes with Randy Savage getting up on top of a fucking semi. Excuse my language, but he is up on top of a semi-trailer and does the diving elbow off of the trailer onto Cactus Jack. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Randy Savage gets the victory officially. 94 from Savage, 90 from Cactus Jack. After the match, though, neither man can get up to their feet at this point. Both are exhausted. Savage may have been declared the winner, but neither man looks like a winner, as both are completely laid out and not moving at this point. Medical professionals come to check on both men as the commentators talk about the war they just went through. That gets a 74 rating. They put themselves through hell for almost 11 minutes there. It was only 11 minutes, like just under 11 minutes, but essentially think of like the highest action-based, craziest 11 minutes in professional wrestling that you can imagine. These two men were just beating the holy hell out of each other with anything and everything that was nearby, and they really just beat the hell out of each other at this point with this match here. 74 rating for this segment, though. Afterwards, the audience tries to recover a little bit from the hype that they just had to focus on the television championship as it is on the line. Alex Wright versus Chris Jericho, the finals of the TV title tournament. It kind of goes over the highlights of the television title tournament itself before getting to the finals here. Alex Wright, Chris Jericho, one of these two men walking out the new television champion. And in a 57 rated matchup, Chris Jericho defeats Alex Wright in 9:17 by submission with a lion tamer after some mysterious individual came running in and attacked Alex Wright when the referee wasn't downed. Chris Jericho, your new WCW World Television Champion. Now, obviously, you can see on screen what the guy's name is who attacked Alex Wright. In kayfabe-wise, we don't know his name yet. We're unsure who this is, but all we know is that he showed up to help out Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, your new television champion. Jericho with a 57, Alex Wright with a 53. 57 rating for the match overall. Not too bad. I wasn't expecting a super high rating between these two because I knew they were kind of in the 50s in-ring performance-wise, but I will take a 57 for sure. After that, Chris Jericho and this unknown individual celebrate as Alex Wright looks on in disappointment. Jericho raises the television championship in the air in celebration. So Chris Jericho, your new television champion, thanks to this mysterious individual. And, well, maybe tomorrow night on Nitro we'll figure out who it is. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see how that plays out. After that, back and forth, crazy non-stop action happening here tonight. We end up going backstage. I probably should have trimmed out at least a minute off of this so I could have kept the lack of anything interesting issue with happening. But we go backstage where security officials are found keeping the Giant and Rikishi Fatu separated. They're backstage kind of yelling across the hall at each other. Tons of security are there. Some police officers are there as they are trying to get at each other, but this time there's like three times as many people in the way as there was the last time that this happened, and so they're not able to fight through everybody there to get at each other. But it is clear that these two men definitely want a piece of each other, definitely want to fight each other, and in the process of all of this happening, it does get announced that not tomorrow night, but next week on Nitro, we will get the Giant versus Rikishi Fatu one-on-one in a no disqualification matchup. So there will not be a way for the match to end via a draw like the last match had. These two men will have to fight until there is one winner. No disqualifications, no countouts, all that stuff. So that happens in 8 nights from now, which is going to be a big time match for sure. After that, we get a video hyping up the United States Championship matchup between the challenger Dustin Rhodes and the champion Brian Pillman. Can the U.S. title stay with the Horsemen, or can Dustin Rhodes win the championship? And an exceptional matchup in 12 minutes and 48 seconds. Dustin Rhodes gets the victory over Brian Pillman, but it is by disqualification, meaning that Brian Pillman is still the WCW United States Champion. This disqualification is thanks to Brian Pillman strictly just deciding, F it, because he couldn't keep Dustin Rhodes down. So he eventually just kind of says F it and just low blows Dustin Rhodes right in front of an official, just to purposely get disqualified and keep his championship around his waist. This is an 82 rated matchup, which is great. 75 from Dustin Rhodes, 89 from Brian Pillman. Pillman keeps his championship, albeit by dastardly means. After the match, Brian Pillman and Chris Benoit attack Dustin Rhodes, but Barry Windham immediately comes in to help Dustin out. The four men fight with each other until Pillman and Benoit decide to bail from the ring and head to the back. Pillman posing with the United States Championship he cheaply held on to here tonight. 73 rating for this segment. So Brian Pillman still the United States Champion despite the fact that it was via disqualification. Gotta imagine that Roddy Piper is going to kind of he's going to have some sort of decision about this because Dustin Rhodes did officially win the match, even if he didn't win the championship. So maybe Piper will give Dustin Rhodes another opportunity. We're not sure. We'll have to see how it plays out. After that, we have one of our two big main events to come as we get a promo from Steve Austin, Johnny B. Bad, and the Road Warriors backstage with Gene Okerlund. They are talking about tonight's match. Road Warriors doing what they would typically do in a promo, talking about how they're gonna beat everybody up and how they're gonna dominate like they always do. How they may not be in their prime anymore, but it doesn't mean that they still can't go out there and kick the NWO's ass. Johnny B. Bad kind of has a singular focus. He's focused on getting revenge for the attack that put him on the shelf for many weeks. And Steve Austin just kind of reiterates what he said Monday night, that he's just here to whoop somebody's ass. He doesn't care who he has to fight. He's just going to go out there swinging until everyone on the side of the NWO is down. They seemed fired up. They seemed ready for the match, but there's those thoughts. There's those thoughts in the minds of those watching this segment that they all kind of seem focused on individual things. They don't seem as focused on working together as a team. So it does become the question of, can these four men work together as a team to defeat the team of the New World Order? One has to sit here and wonder if it's possible. After that segment, we go out to the ring, where the Road Warriors, Johnny B. Bad, and Steve Austin all come down separately for the big 8-man tag team matchup. Again, coming out to the ring separately. They're not coming out together. The NWO's music then hits, and out comes the New World Order minus one figure. That the unknown figure isn't with them. The guy who's been hidden, basically hidden in plain sight recently. He wearing stuff to conceal his identity. He's not with them. Levesque, Waltman, Lynn, and DiBiase all come out with big smiles on their faces. They come out with big smiles on their faces. I apparently cannot type correctly. DiBiase gets a mic and says that the plan of the New World Order cannot be stopped, and just when you think you have things figured out, your world gets turned upside down. Ted DiBiase then says, "Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the true fourth member of the New World Order." Then the NWO's music hits again. And out from the back, the revealed fourth member of the NWO is Bret the Hitman Hart. The commentators are losing their minds as Bret Hart, one of the biggest names in wrestling today, is standing there with the New World Order, wearing an NWO shirt, and the entire arena is just completely in shock by this, including the four individuals in the ring. They're in shock by this. Bret Hart comes down to the ring with the rest of the group for this big 8-man tag team matchup. It is Steve Austin, the Road Warriors, and Johnny B. Bad taking on Sean Waltman, Jerry Lynn, Paul Levesque, and Bret Hart. And in this 8-man tag team matchup that gets an 82 rating, the New World Order get the victory over Johnny B. Bad, Steve Austin, and the Road Warriors in 12:44 when Bret Hart pins Road Warrior Animal with a victory roll. 82 rating for the match itself. Bret Hart with a 90 rating, Sean Waltman with a 70, Jerry Lynn with a 58, Paul Levesque with a 65, Steve Austin with a 92, Johnny B. Bad with a 60, Road Warrior Hawk with a 65, Road Warrior Animal with a 58. Increased the heat for the storyline, but the NWO get the victory here tonight. Essentially, it breaks down to kind of how I was just saying before the match. that the other four men, they were a fight. They provided one hell of a fight for the NWO, but they weren't working as cohesively as a team as the NWO were. And at the end of the day, that cohesiveness is what led things to end up with a victory for the New World Order, as they were able to get the victory via a victory roll by Bret Hart. After that huge, shocking moment, we go backstage to Sting and Gene Okerlund. Sting says that he saw what happened earlier in the night with Lex Luger and Booker T, but that he has to put that on the back burner right now. And clearly, in a sign of this was taped before the what just happened, he doesn't bring up anything about the big reveal. So clearly this shows that this was taped before that big reveal just happened. But he has to put all that drama with Luger and Harlem Heat on the back burner right now, because he's about to go out there and take on one of his toughest opponents in Bam Bam Bigelow for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. He needs to do whatever it takes to focus 100% on Bigelow tonight and leave the new World Heavyweight Champion. 91 rating for this match, or for the segment, that is. It's time for the main event. Sting, who was our champion for 6+ months, getting a rematch against Bam Bam Bigelow. Sting making his elaborate entrance to a 73 rating. Bam Bam Bigelow making his elaborate entrance to a 71 rating. And the match itself gets an 82 rating. You know what? I'll take it. I will take it for sure. In an exceptional matchup, Bam Bam Bigelow defeats Sting in 12:43 by submission. But again, this is another Bam Bam Bigelow submission that was more of a pass out versus a tap out, as Sting tried to get out of the bear hug that Bam Bam Bigelow had locked in, but could not get out of it. However, interesting to note, Lex Luger provided a distraction on Sting during the matchup. He came out when Sting was about to lock in the Scorpion Deathlock and provided a distraction, kind of yelling at Sting, saying, "Where were you? Where were you?" Sting, completely thrown off by this happening, was trying to get Luger to go away. When Bam Bam Bigelow attacked him from behind, was able to hit his big moonsault from the top rope, and then picked up Sting and locked him in a bear hug to get the passing out, the unconscious victory, if you will. Bam Bam Bigelow making defense number 2 of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship to an 82 rating. 85 from Sting, 81 from Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow, still the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And as big as that match was, there's something just about as big after the match. Because Bam Bam Bigelow is celebrating the victory as Sting comes too slowly and looks at Lex Luger surprised. Luger is looking absolutely frustrated about costing Sting the championship and just everything else that's been going on with him recently as he gets in the ring. Sting is trying to talk to Luger, but Luger just keeps looking disappointed. He's just so frustrated. He's visibly angry about everything going on right now. Sting touches Luger's shoulder, only for Luger to deck Sting. The crowd audibly gasps as Sting gets to his feet shortly after that punch, but gets met by the big running forearm from Lex Luger with that metal plate in his arm, taking Sting down. Sting, of course, selling the matchup that he just had, is not feeling too good at all, or he's not able to get right back up to his feet after this. Luger looks down at him frustrated before yelling out, "You're supposed to be my friend." Then he picks Sting up before Sting can get completely to his feet and locks him in the torture rack. After a few moments, Harlem Heat come running out from the back. Booker T selling the match earlier in the night, but they come running out from the back. They end up chasing Lex Luger off. Luger bails out of the ring with a frustrated look on his face as Booker and Stevie check on Sting to end the show itself. Lex Luger has turned on his friend Sting. He has attacked Sting, left him laid out. What the hell is going on? Has Lex Luger completely snapped? We don't know for sure. The only way we're going to be able to find out is by watching Nitro in the future. We're not sure. We're not sure what the hell just happened, but Lex Luger just turned his back on his friend Sting. The show itself gets an 83 overall. I will take it. Increased popularity in 24 regions. I don't even care if we have that restriction. I don't care. We got an 83 rating. That's pretty damn good. It's not fantastic, but it is pretty damn good. So huge stuff there. I know I kind of flew through those segments pretty quickly, but huge stuff there. Chris Jericho, new television champion after having some mystery person show up to help him out. Sting getting attacked after losing his World Heavyweight Championship rematch to Bam Bam Bigelow by his friend Lex Luger. And of course, the biggest moment in this show, for me personally, and for probably many of you watching, the fourth member of the NWO was revealed to be none other than Bret the Hitman Hart. No idea what the hell that's going to mean. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to mean at all. You got to imagine that you got to imagine something's going to come out of this. Something's definitely going to have to come out of this. No idea what's happened there. But, yeah. Bret Hart is Bret Hart is the fourth member of the NWO. I don't even know. I don't even know what else to say about that, really. Absolute shock, for sure. Our popularity is 74 and 75s across the board now as we enter August. 81 in the Southeast. So we are getting ever so closely to big size. Yeah. What can you say? What can you say about what just happened? We just had all of that crazy stuff happen. All of that just happened. I got nothing. We will have to see you tomorrow night for Nitro.